Hello and welcome to Empowered Wellness Journey. My name is Teresa Huggins and I'm creating this video for my friends in Stowe, Vermont for the Weekend of Hope, a beautiful celebration of people on the journey of healing from cancer. And due to everything that's happening in the world, we're going to be connecting via videos and Zoom instead of joining together. So if you were at the hotel and we're doing the conference, you'd be entering my room and there'd be music playing because I believe that music strengthens and helps and brings joy. There would be little cards that you'd be picking up to pictures that would describe how you were feeling that day, drawings, because I believe journaling helps, and sketching, even if you identify as a non-artist, to help you express your emotions. So since we're not in Stowe and since we're here in Clinton, New York, home of Hamilton College, and a beautiful little town in upstate New York, central New York, near between Syracuse and Albany, I'm going to make a couple videos that would give you some of the concepts that we do. And hopefully at a future time, or if you're interested and you want to join in Zoom calls to support these ideas, I'm happy to do that for you. So you can just reach out to me at teresadhuggins.com. My journey begins many years ago, where as a counselor and a friend and a family member, I supported many people with a diagnosis named cancer and supported many people in hospitalizations. And so I felt I knew quite a bit, right? From the sidelines, there's scans and tests and protocols, but from the sidelines, it's a little different. And so in January 2016, there was an opportunity for me to learn for myself. And it came unexpected. It actually, people was like, how'd you know you had cancer? I didn't. I had a rash on my face that came and went, and I was traveling with work as a speaker and trainer, different hotels, different food, different locations, and I just thought it was maybe that. And yet it prompted me to schedule an annual appointment, and from that physical resulted in, there's suspicion was the word. So from that led to more testing and a biopsy. And I don't remember the date, but I remember it was a Friday afternoon around 4:00, and a nice young woman called and said, well, we found results of your biopsy. Now, this time I'm still a little like, okay, I had a biopsy, but I have no symptoms, so I'm totally fine. And she said that included carcinoma cells. Now, I knew what the word carcinoma cells meant, but I wondered if other people didn't. And there was this feeling in the pit of my stomach that was just, is that how they're going to treat me? And I said, well, can I talk to someone to understand that? And this was a Friday afternoon. She said, after 10 o'clock on Monday, you can call for an appointment. And I took a deep breath and I thought, I'm on a wellness journey. I am on an empowered wellness journey. And in that moment, I remember thinking, without even knowing what was lying ahead for me or what that meant or what procedures would happen, I decided I was going to do it my way. And I was going to approach the wellness journey the same way I approached life, with enthusiasm and joy, with faith, with an understanding that I'm going to hold the intention that answers will come and solutions will come each step of the way. And then I learned there's a whole nother process there. And after a multitude of doctors and surgeons and scans and places and second opinions and who do you pick and where do you go and who's telling you the truth, throughout the journey, there were moments of frustration and moments of, are you kidding me? Did somebody just say that to me? Did someone just tell that to me? As a consultant now, I would not do that. I would not treat a customer that way. And I do view myself as a customer because I'm still in the journey. I still have scans and blood work and tests and what's next. And I have joy. So the difference for me in Empowered Wellness Journey is that as the person going through the diagnosis, we get to choose how we approach it. And honestly, that means the whole spectrum of emotions. It means you're going to have days and ebb and a flow, and it's going to feel like I don't want to do this anymore. And actually, a while ago, I wrote a resignation letter. And it was for myself, but one video I may share it. And I resigned from the role of cancer patient. And I took a new position. And that position was as a vibrantly healthy person who has dreams and goals. And I felt strengthened. So when we are going through the various diagnoses, it's important to consider ways to help yourself feel grounded, feel comfortable. And I did all kinds of things, and I asked questions, and I looked for people who've been through it before me for recommendations. I also spent time inside. I do meditation and guided imagery as a practice anyways. I did more of it. I learned that there's some out there that are beautiful for people navigating cancer for that, and that felt really good. I knew it was important to exercise and eat healthy. Does that mean having to give up my homemade ice cream from our local ice cream place? Well, yes, if I wanted to eat healthier, but perhaps 2 bites was okay instead of 2 scoops. And so sometimes I may engage in food that's not on the list to eat. And if I do it with joy. I'm not carrying the guilt or the shame or I shouldn't do that. And to be honest, I did become more conscious of eating and what I eat. And I looked at what is healthier. The whole time I'm thinking, how can I strengthen my immune system? I'm thinking that in the Empowered Wellness Journey, what can we do that I have control over, that I can influence? What I eat, how I move my body, what my mind does, what my feelings are, how I reach out to people, how I let people reach me. So in the Empowered Wellness Journey, there's so many dimensions beyond the physical. And the physical is part of that. And it's important to have confidence in that. And I had a friend early on that said, get a 2-inch binder and get the separators because you're going to get a lot of information to keep it straight. And I didn't understand that. I thought, really? A 2-inch binder? That's a lot of space. Well, I'm on my 5th and there's a section for scans and insurance questions and Dr. 1 and consultant doctor and integrated approaches and medicines, whatever you choose as part of your journey. And it just feels good to 3-hole punch it and put it in one location. So if somebody says, well, when did you have a test about such and such? I can pull it out and I can see it. And each book is by a year and they're very colorful on the front and they're playful, and I bring them to the appointments and it says the Empowered Wellness Journey. And in 2016, when I went to Boston for a consult, I had my binder and the doctor looked at it and I'm like, well, I'm on a Empowered Wellness Journey. So I'm here to figure out, I'm going to live a vibrantly healthy life and I'm looking for advice in your opinion, how I can get there. I wasn't interested in what might go wrong we need to hear a little bit of that, I think, but I focused the whole time on what will make me feel healthier and joyful. Now, for some of you that are sitting listening to this saying, Patricia, I'm in pain and it's scary and I'm afraid. Right on. I'm there with you. I was too. And in this moment making the video, I feel excited to connect with you. And I'm imagining us all in Stowe, Vermont, enjoying each other's company. And perhaps last week I didn't make the video because there was some uncertainty and I felt that unknown. And I think right now in 2020, that's what we're all learning globally, that the gift in the invisible droplet called a virus is that we live as if we're going to live and live and live. And this uncertainty around the virus has let us reflect and go inside and ask ourselves what matters. What matters? And if you haven't journaled about that, I would. And it may ask you about what's important now. Because there's one guarantee in life. We're born and we die. Sometime. That's a given. We know that. And for the most part, it happens much later in life. And when you have a diagnosis, your mind starts circulating like, uh-oh, I'm planning on being here into my 80s. My investor said I was supposed to plan till 90. And then you hear other stories and the uncertainty. So for my listeners, every emotion matters. Emotion is energy in motion, like a wave. And go and watch waves sometimes and understand that what looks like a huge ocean or a lake is actually a droplet of water. And it's like our thoughts, that we can hear a doctor say something, and sometimes our bodies get stiff. And sometimes it's like the Peanuts teacher, wah, wah, wah. And the doctor's explaining something, but your body is responding to the stress response, and you tighten up and you're not really hearing it. So it's important to have someone with you, or to take notes, to ask questions. I always ask for copies of scans and reports. I want that in my binder. And have I sat in a coffee shop and looked up all the words and said, what does that mean? Have I learned about anatomy and physiology? Yes. Do I better understand my immune system? Absolutely. And my wish for you is that you can navigate a journey named cancer with ease, with an understanding that all the feelings are okay. We don't want to press them down. We want to awaken them and open up to that. We want to be able to connect with that. So part of the empowered wellness journey is physical, psychological, energetic, and spiritual, however you define it. And I'm currently putting all of that information together, and I've created a Facebook page for us to share information, something that you might learn that's uplifting, that's meaningful. And it's beyond a diagnosis named cancer. And I've said that before, and I'm intentional with that. I am not my cancer. I am not a color of a ribbon. And yet years before, oh my, we raised so much money for different cancer research organizations when in my school and my community. And I believed in all that. And as I'm going through it, I believe in focusing on the strength and the empowerment, and how can we get to the result quicker and with ease. So do I ask questions? I do. I choose practitioners that will let me ask questions, that will honor that. I haven't spent a lot of time online because I felt heavier, I felt conflicting information. So I've focused on parts and pieces of that. But here's what's really important, listeners, for you to see. It is not about the way Teresa does it. It's not at all. You could listen to this and say, I don't believe any of it, and I'm okay with it. Because empowered wellness is about what you want to do, what you want to create, what's important to you. And it looks different. For me, it was important to get really clear about what my lifestyle was that led to this. My body saying, whoa, slow down. And life was a little bit complicated. Elder care and elderly parents and kids in college and high school and going all the time and being an entrepreneur and all of that. And when I was in that fast pace, I didn't feel sick. I didn't know my immune system was off at all. So for me, it came as a surprise, and it's a blessing, and I live life differently. Because what happened before, I think, is, okay, I can fit it in. I can, if I wake up early, like let's wake up at 4:30 or 5, do some work, drive a couple hours, take care of my mom, do all of her medical appointments, drive back, do some more work. I only need 5 hours of sleep. That's fine, right? But what I've learned since is sleep's important, nutrition's important, your positive mental attitude's important, your awareness of your body and how you're feeling is important, and choices are important. So how the empowered wellness journey looks different than maybe somebody else is I'm very intentional on integrating all of it. It's not just one way. And I've had surgery, I've had healing rays. Some people call that radiation. That felt scary. So I renamed things. So I went through healing rays sessions. I've had different kinds of medicine. I also did Qigong, meditation, yoga, journaling, traveling, listening to music, creating a different lifestyle, sleeping more, eating healthier, being more conscious of what I want to do. And when I look at all of those things, it is how we want to approach life differently. Think of it as a redesign. It really is. It really is a redesign where we get to start again. And some of that might be clearing up incompletes of the past. It may be finishing projects that you haven't. As an author and speaker, there's books in the process now. That's the gift in a diagnosis for me. It isn't like put it off till later. It's like, let's finish that now. It may be what holidays look like are different. It definitely means nap when the body's tired. I had no idea when I was going through my healing rays sessions, as I like to call them. And they said you might feel tired, and I would be at my computer writing, and then all of a sudden my head would nod. And it was almost like my body said, rest. It's okay to rest. And it rebuild. And so when I would rest, I would imagine my cells were rebuilding. So one of the things about Empowered Wellness Journey is to be very conscious of your thoughts and your images. So I imagine my medicine being like Pac-Man, which in college, I just loved the Pac-Man, come and get the cells, right? And so I would imagine that the medicine was going through my body. I had workers and helpers in there. They're finding any of the cells, and it would stimulate healing. When I had pain, and I still have pain, I breathe into the pain. I stretch. I take more breaks. So I would stand. I might just stand up and sit down in my desk. I'll go for walks in nature. I changed my relationship with time. So instead of I have to take out all the things that are joy for me to finish these other things, that goes in my calendar first. I color code my calendar. I write when am I going to yoga classes, and now I'm doing it online. Or when am I going to practice the guided imagery that helps change the brain chemistry to help bring healing to the body. That goes in first. And then the other things go in with work-related things. And with all the changes now, I had some personal trips in warm climates that were canceled. I had a lot of speaking engagements that were canceled. And I took a breath. And at one point I just started laughing like, okay, there's another one. Whereas an older version of me, the before cancer person, I wouldn't have slept. I would have worried. I would have fretted. I would have thought, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And now, is it in your control? No. Can it be done later? Yes. And so it's your relationship with your mind and your body that helps strengthen you. So here are some things that I learned. Physical, it's really important, in my opinion, and again, all of it is just Teresa Huggins' opinion. Take what serves you, let the rest go. Not attached to, if it doesn't align with you, then I wouldn't do it. If it does align or you're curious and you want more information, I can share that with you. But with the physical, I would go to doctor's appointment as data collecting. So it wasn't really, at the beginning, it was scary. And I didn't understand the vocabulary and I didn't know what they're talking about. And the time element of waiting and waiting for results, I had to let that go. That was hard because I thought I was in control of time. I thought I designed my schedule. I thought I knew when I spoke somewhere. And going through in 2016, when you're going through all the appointments and healing practices and surgeries and all of that, then work just stops for me because of I travel with work. That might have been as hard as a diagnosis, to be honest, just knowing that all of a sudden what I thought life was changed. That's what we're feeling right now in April 2020 as we're all sitting at home for the most part. Things that we thought, of course I'm going to Stowe. I love Stowe, Vermont, and I love the bike trails and all of that. And so I'm imagining there. So I'll imagine on Saturday that I'm there and I'm meeting people, and I'll be thinking of the people that I met last year, and I'll hold the highest intention for your healing. And I'll do that in a physical way where I'll do something this weekend to activate that healing, walking in the woods perhaps, if we get warm temperatures on a bike, and I'll send that energy to you as if it's possible. And I'll send it within myself. So physical, when you're going through and navigating, even when there's pain, when you breathe into it and relax your muscles, it can change to sensation. And when it feels like pain, you honor it. If it wakes you up at night, you ask your medical practitioners what might help you to sleep better. So it's acknowledging that your body's going through a transformation and healing is on the horizon, and sometimes it's bumpy. It's like the ocean. If you go there, and some days it's so calm and placid, it looks like a lake. And other times it's beautiful waves and the surfers and children are running on the beach and it's laughing. And then other times, whoa, that's a storm. That's something you stay off the beach. It's kind of how cancer is, where it's unpredictable. We're not exactly sure what our body's going to do. We're not sure how our body's going to respond to all the healing modalities. So what we have in our power is our mind and our heart. And that's where the psychology part comes in, which is really more my expertise than a science. I am grateful for every scientist, researcher, the people. I'm fascinated by the people who invent all the machines and tests. And I offer gratitude actually when I'm in a machine for the engineers and scientists who created that so that we have a different outcome. And I pay attention to the mind and the psychology of what's possible. And by paying attention to your thoughts, by having daily practices, I write down affirmations that I'm vibrantly strong. And then my mind is like, no, your back hurts. Like, what are you talking about? And I breathe and I imagine the back releasing and opening if there's tightness in the back. I use imagery. Before I get out of bed, I imagine my day flowing the way I want it to be. And before I go to bed, I'm grateful for the things that worked during the day. If there's something that doesn't work, I shake it off, literally. I might go outside, I might shake. I may do some Qigong moves, which Spring Forest Qigong out of Minnesota and Master Chung-Yi Lin. I practice his style and I move my body. And while I'm moving my body in any kind of exercise, I'm also attaching the mind to it. So I'm not just moving my arm, but I'm releasing or I'm receiving. Or if I do yoga, it's the same thing. So instead of thinking, where am I going to fit all this in my life? Which I did, to be honest. I integrate it and wove it in. So when I'm doing Qigong, walks, bikes, swim, kayaking, that's what I like to do. I weave it in. So I could be noticing nature, and I could bring the beauty of nature in, and I could be feeling that healing energy. I believe the mind's really powerful. And I have results where doctors like, wow, we didn't expect this result. And I get all excited and I'm like, do you want to know what I did? No, that's okay. I have compassion for every medical practitioner. I do. Every insurance person, everyone I've met, I really do have compassion. And I want it to be different. So what I can do is influence my journey, and perhaps by sharing my tips, your journey, and know that certain things are able to happen or not happen based on protocol, insurance, hospital regulations, and all of that. So I do share what happens. And when I realized they couldn't record it into their records, that's when I realized I wanted to create the Empowered Wellness Journey, like a guidebook, and maybe some videos and some guided imageries. And I felt that gave me a purpose in why my body was going through this. There's so much with psychology, which I'll make another video about that at a later date, because there's so much that we can do with how we view life. Energetic is another part. And by energetic, I mean the area around you, your environment that you work in, that you live in, the feeling you have when you're in certain spaces. So what are you doing when you go to a doctor's office, right? And I will bring music, maybe I'll listen to if I know it's something that's not. I'm blessed that most of my practitioners are pretty efficient, and I've sat for an hour and a half too, so I'll bring work to do or a book. So I'm in the healing area, but I'm in my own energy field. And I believe that we can, like, I sometimes imagine I'm I have my own protection, and I can go into the world and people can be grumpy and I don't have to be impacted by it. But it is intentional to know how your energy feels. Your energy may be when you do too much and your body's tired. So the energetic part is the invisible things. It's the things we're not sure. It's hearing a message on a song and feeling strengthened by that. Then I may order the song. Or it may be knowing that you feel really good in a certain location and not so good in another. It's asking yourself when that is. It might be, if you're someone that does all the big holidays for the family, it may be asking for help and saying that's okay. It may be where you notice how you feel when certain things are said to you. Now, I want to and will continue to practice that I'm on a wellness journey. I'm not sick with cancer. I'm not fighting a battle. I'm not a warrior. Those words for me did not resonate. For you, they might. If they make you feel strong and you're like, yes, then go for it. It's finding what words work for you and how that feels energetically. And in the Empowered Wellness spiritually, what that means is, what do you believe in? So for me, I have a faith, so I know there's more than myself in this journey. What is it for you? It might be, you feel strong when you're sitting by a lake, and you feel great when you have flowers that you can go outside and pick. It might be that being with a certain friend. It might be listening to certain music, reading certain literature. In my opinion, it's not a right or wrong. It's not others saying what you need. It's for you to go inside and say, how can I strengthen my mind, body, and spirit? And what does that look like? And then it's important for us to be grounded. So we can have the spiritual perspective. I'll imagine my guides and my belief system. And even I imagine, my grandma hasn't been here since 1970, but I just pretend my grandma's here. And so I feel her strength. I figure anyone that was born in 1882 has been through a lot. And so that energy, that historical energy of your ancestors could strengthen you, even though they're not here. And then it's important to ground it. And by that, I mean to go in with knowing you can be open to receiving new information, but also, this really works for me. I really believe this. I have a friend that paints intricate Easter eggs, like with the ones that are just so beautiful and detailed. That wouldn't work for me. That'd be like, I could learn it. I really think I could, but that wouldn't bring me. I might paint some rocks. I have some rocks ready to paint to put around our village. So it's finding what works for you and what's aligned and being clear on that. And the clearer that you can be, the more the healing happens. I think when we're aligned with our mind, body, spirit, and we have our scientists, our researchers, our doctors, our loved ones all weaving together, that's when the healing happens fully. Now, based on my work, there's some things that I've used in other areas that I've created for the healing journey specific. Let me see if you can see this here. So this I have, it's a little bag with clippings after I've read them, I cut out words that appeal to me and I create vision boards. And a vision board is a visual image so that your mind can go there and see it and feel it so that they see it as a possibility. So we have if you can picture an iceberg, like from the Titanic movie and the iceberg, and we think this is life, but under the iceberg is so much more. So this would be part of your brain, and this is another part. And so by listening to music, affirming, I'm vibrantly healthy, I'm healing with every breath, my surgery is going to happen with ease, I'm going to sleep deeply. Affirming what you want is part of that too. It's what's in the subconscious mind, what's under the surface. So a vision board, and it can be done with pictures or words, and this is just a sample of what I have in my office, and I pause each day and I read the words and I look at it, and I'm in the process of making one with pictures too, but I just made this a little bit, and it has the Empowered Wellness Journey, and then it has different images and pictures that are here, and they say things like find your calm, cure, divine peace and harmony continuously surrounds me, choose with confidence, make every day extraordinary. It's all connected. Patient power. Live forward. I bless my body with loving exercise. It revitalizes me inside and out. And you can create that. I used one of, like you'd use with your kids' science fair projects, but you can use it with a board. You can frame it. I have one up here that's for my work, and that's framed, and you change it out and you have pictures. What happens is the brain goes to where it desires. So it leans into that imagery of what's possible, even when a report may suggest otherwise. Think about that. I remember early on, there was a doctor said something and some kind of statistic, and when we were leaving the office, my husband was upset, and I said, you know what? She doesn't know my middle name. He's confused. What does that mean? She doesn't know your middle. I don't get it. I'm like, she doesn't know who I am. She doesn't know what I eat, what I think. She doesn't know my background. She doesn't know my experience. She doesn't know my history. So I thank her for sharing projections of what might happen. I think we need that. And then we go on and we live our life. And we say, what do I want? Am I a miracle? Is there evidence I'm a miracle? Do we cut our finger and it heals? Can we change up what our body does? Was there anything in your life that you were told you couldn't do? And you did it anyways? So I believe it's important to apply that to your diagnosis and your healing. And it's important to wake up to the idea that we are on the planet right now where think of all the innovation and the creativity and the solutions, and people who didn't think they could make things could make things. Well, to be honest, I don't want to be just sitting in my home. I like it, but I really wanted to go to Hilton Head and I want to see my son in Lake Tahoe, if I'm being truthful. And I want to be free of disease. And I really do want to write that resignation letter and submit it and say there's no evidence of disease. And I want to dance. I'm going to have a dance party. So why wait for the dance party until a test says it's all clear? Why not dance today? Dance with your joys, dance with your dreams. Breathe that in. Breathe in the possibility that even right now in the temporary, it isn't a fun ride. It hurts. It's unpredictable. It's uncertain. And you matter. You're alive. Your family and friends care about you. And if they don't, find new family and friends. And I'm kind of serious about that in the energetic part of the healing. Like, surround yourself with people. Decide who the people are you can call who will listen and not tell you what to do, but rather listen from their heart and hold you in the space of possible healing. And imagining, I know that what used to be in science and in research in the 1970s and 80s is not how the journey of cancer goes today. And what I know is a test I had in 2016 and 2018, they made it even better. And so people that have my particular type of diagnosis get clearer results just in 2 years. So during this time of global pause, what if it's a time for all of us to renew and rejuvenate and to believe that we are empowered, that we can heal, that the researchers and scientists and doctors are finding more solutions. I hold on to that as a vision. And I hold on to the possibility that all of my listeners, maybe one idea in this video strengthens you. Then that makes everything I've been through worth it. My wish is that you can see and view your life with determination and courage, that you honor all the feelings, that when life feels that you let yourself feel and that when you feel good, you stand up. And there is a man that I met last year at Stowe named Tom. And he didn't know I was in the workshop after mine when he stood up for the presenter, and he said something like, I'm a miracle, and I'm going home and telling my doctor I want to be treated that way. And my friends, for you, I do hold that you are a miracle, that you have the ability within you to strengthen and to heal and to receive healing. And it's my desire to be of service to you in ways that help you in your journey. And you can find me at teresadhuggins.com or Teresa Huggins on the website. We also are starting the Empowered Wellness Journey group that is to share and strengthen, so people could go on and just say, hey, I found this worked. It's different than a support group. It's more of an alignment with our body, mind, and spirit, and feeling that the possibility that it can be renewed, that we can find our joy again. We don't have to wait until we have the clearance. We create the clearance now. We create clear cells in our body, in our minds, in our spirit. And I'm imagining now that you're all in the room with me in Stowe, and you're sitting a little taller, and you feel a little more renewed and rejuvenated. And I'm hearing the birds outside, and visualizing the beautiful town and all the people that serve us when we're there. And I look forward to 2021, that we'll be together and that we'll share more wisdom and more strength. And on the Empowered Wellness Journey YouTube channel, I'm going to make more guided imageries for you that you can listen to and renew. And I'll share more videos and upload some activities that you can do. Things that I did that helped me process and renew and strengthen in my journey. And so as I close this video, I invite you to pause for a moment and just close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in, allow your belly to go out. And as you pull your belly back to your spine, imagining that all that no longer serves you releases in your exhale. As you breathe in the strength that together we can create new solutions, find more healing, support one another, and be renewed and strengthened. And as you join your thumb and your finger together to form a circle, anytime you desire healing and support, join your thumb and finger together to form a circle. This is your healing circle. This is the reminder that the power within you to heal and activate your inner healer exists. With a thought, with an open heart, with an enthusiastic spirit, and with gratitude. Gratitude for all the people that are helping you on your journey, and gratitude for people who believe our world is waking up to new solutions and new healing and new possibility. And as you breathe that in and let it permeate in your body, know that there is more. And that your gift is to be empowered and well and to create a new future. And I hold this intention for you. So thanks for listening and receiving and opening. And in a final thought, may your life be filled with many blessings. May your heart expand with gratitude. May your mind be at ease, your spirit filled with peace. And may you know that just like nature transforms throughout the year, may you be transformed. May you be strengthened. And may you be loved. Thank you. Thank you for considering the Empowered Wellness Journey, and thank you for exploring who you are. Many blessings.